Hello world, it's B513. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a very, very long time since I made a video, but I'm back again. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm going to start off with the Bengals because that is my hometown team. This is my mock draft. I was working on this last night and the day before, and we just signed the safety Von Bell from the Saints. So I don't know how that's going to play into it, but the fact that I was working on this, I did not want to just stop this whole thing and just start all over. I wanted to put this out, put some content out, and we're going to attack all 32 teams, all divisions coming real soon. Um, you already know Joe Burrow, man. He's the consensus number one pick, man. Uh, his energy, his mentality, his mannerisms. I mean, when I dissect it from afar, looking at it through my view, I see a certain intangibles that not all of these quarterbacks have. He's 6'4". He's got the prototypical height. He doesn't have the best arm per se, but Joe Montana didn't either. And so this play in particular, man, I think that was really looking back at his film. I think this play right here really shows me what type of player he is. Because in the AFC North division, you're gonna have pressure in the NFL period. But I've seen Andy Dalton fold too many times, under those circumstances. So we're not gonna spend too much time on him. Like I said, the Bengals just signed Von Bell, but prior to that, I've always felt that Antoine Winfield Jr., who has the DNA pedigree, his daddy was a Pro Bowl cornerback from Ohio State, played for the Vikings. He's just as good. I mean, this guy can return punts. He doesn't have to be your everyday punter, but I think in special moments, in special games like against Pittsburgh on a Sunday night, or against the Ravens on a Monday night, or in the playoffs. Yeah, I said the playoffs because I see us really going real soon. You need a guy like this who can, break the game. He's a really special playmaker, man. He has ball hawk, and he's really a strong safety, but he can play the free. But we are pretty much set at the free safety position with Jesse Bates, and I would really love to see him pair with him. We just signed Von Bell, and I remember looking at Von Bell coming out of Ohio State, but I'm going to have to go back and look. But I just feel like this is the best safety to come out in years. I mean, honestly, I feel like he has Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame potential. And I actually think it's a damn shame that no one has him in the top five. I mean, they have the guy, Grant Delpit from LSU. This guy is a way better safety, than the guy from LSU. No offense to any other players coming out. Get y'all money, get your bag, run it up, do your thing. You're going to get drafted. But I feel like, this guy's the best safety to come out in years. Maybe since Earl Thomas. I really think he's the best safety. And whoever gets him is going to have a hell of a player. But I would love to see my Bengals draft him. With the third round pick, I was kind of hoping that we could take Malik Harrison, linebacker from Ohio State. I really like, specifically on this play right here, how he, reads the zone read and attacks the mobile quarterback. Specifically, we're going to need that because we have Lamar Jackson in our division. And so, we need someone who's aggressive. Those outside linebackers from Ohio State, they've done really well. Ryan Shazier, to name a few. Just over the last few years, I really like these athletic outside linebackers from Ohio State. They really they transition well to the NFL, and I think he's going to be a great player, and I hope we can get him. In the fourth round, you see Antonio Gibson, running back. But honestly, he's a running back hybrid. As a receiver, he kind of reminds me of A.J. Brown from the Titans, who went to Ole Miss, came out last year. Or actually, Tony O'Brien, who played for the Browns and the Cowboys back in the day. He's a physical guy, man. If you just see the way he cuts and hit the hole, I just think he's a dynamic playmaker. And I honestly, all Bengals fans, we have to be honest with ourselves. Giovanni Bernard hasn't really been the player we thought he was actually going to be when we drafted him. I mean, his rookie year and his second year, maybe his first 3 years, he made some good impacts, but he never really developed into that change of pace guy because he never had breakaway speed. And so actually, besides Joe Mixon, we really don't have anyone, to take the load off of Joe Mixon and actually be spectacular. I feel like this guy is spectacular with the ball in his hands, as you can see. You could put him at wide receiver. Another great comparison, maybe not the same type of player, but the similar type of positionless. We should start saying he's a positionless wide receiver running back hybrid, kind of like Ty Montgomery. But I actually think he's a way better prospect than Ty Montgomery, and he's a way better returner. I really would love to see what Zach Taylor can do with this guy on our team, man. As you can see, man, running back, wide receiver, returner. He's run a sub 4.4. Dynamic athlete, and he's dynamic with the ball in his hands, man. I could just picture him with, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, John Ross, Joe Mixon, you know. And granted, look, we didn't sign Tyler Eifert, so I didn't put a tight end on here. All of these things just transpired in the process of me making this video. But I really like this guy too right here, John Runyon Jr. was showing clips of his dad. I couldn't really find a lot of highlights of John Runyon Jr., but I watched the game against Ohio State. And I noticed just watching him, there wasn't a lot of pressure coming from his side. Chase Young, I was really high on him. I didn't really see him, do anything in that game. And I feel like John Runyon Jr. played a big role in that. And I really think he's going to be a solid guard, even though they have him listed at tackle. Maybe he can play right tackle and take Bobby Price's position. I like Michael Jordan on the line. I really do. I don't care what PFF has to say. I think Michael Jordan is going to be a solid guard for years to come. But maybe you can slot him in on that right side. But I really like John Runyon. I really do. And then, of course, I like Lamar Jackson. The Ravens Lamar Jackson. But I also like this cornerback from Nebraska, man. He's 6'3". He's a big physical guy. I actually like the way he plays against the run and his zone coverage ability. I thought when we drafted Kirkpatrick, he was going to be our version of Richard Sherman, because once Richard Sherman became, that guy, he pretty much, made everyone start looking at corners like, hey, I want a 6'3" corner as well. And so I like this guy. I think maybe he can be a great nickelback or possibly a safety as well. But I know we just made a lot of moves, signing DBs and whatnot. So it's kind of like, why would you take this guy? But if you're going to get rid of Kirkpatrick and possibly not even keep William Jackson next year, who knows? You need to have someone, in the building that's preparing for the future. But I really like this guy, and I really think he has a lot of potential. And if he's available in the 6th round, which I don't think, if he's there, you have to jump on him. I use the draft simulator site, and I just use that to make my mock draft. Yeah, even against Ohio State, you see this guy, he's not scared of the big moments against the best team and one of the best teams in the nation. Man to man, covering the boundaries. Is a big guy. Solid big guy, man. I really like him. And this play right here, I guess you can say he maybe should have tried to take the pick 6, but at the end of the day, he stopped the other team from catching it. So I really like this guy. And if we have the opportunity to pick him up, I'm going to be happy about that. The last pick, another guy from Ohio State, Benjamin Victor. This is a guy who's played at Ohio State all 4 years. As you can see, he's a big play receiver, big body receiver. I love 6'4", 6'5" receivers. And he's dynamic, quietly dynamic with the ball in his hands. Ohio State had a lot of guys get drafted at receiver over the last 4 or 5 years. And, he might have been able to come out the last year, but he wasn't going to run that spectacular 40 as those other guys, so maybe he decided to come back. But he's caught touchdown passes from J.T. Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, and Justin Fields. So this guy is he's well. I think he's going to be pro ready. But if you can kind of think of him, a great comparison, I think, just a little bit slower. Remember Martavis Bryant from the Steelers? He reminds me of this guy, the way he's built and the way he moves and the way he attacks the ball and the way he runs after the catch. But I kind of like, what we done. We're drafting Arden Tate a couple years ago in the 7th round and developing him. And I'm thinking Arden Tate is going to be a great, big body receiver moving forward in our future. And with AJ Green, starting to reach those older years in his career, I just would like to continuously draft big receivers like that and build for the future. But like I said, man, I know we just signed Von Bell, so it kind of messed up my mock draft. I haven't made any videos in a while, but I'm going to be coming back soon with a whole lot of content. I'm just happy to be back, for making videos for you guys. So it's B513, and y'all stay ready. I'm coming back.